Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anshul. I work at a company called Dataflow. We do primary source verification. So I'm not going to talk about what you guys do better than me. We're going to talk about what all of us can do better on some of the aspects. There's a brand that you see, PMI. This session is coming along as PMI NIC session. So I'm in the PMI North India chapter, and I'm coming from them to talk about risks, what we talk about risks there, and we'll share some here. It's a community of people who love projects, who love to do projects, and a lot of things happen there again. Opportunity for you to think about, look at it, see what they do. So before we start out, you're here, did you have anything in your mind that you were wanting to achieve today? Learn, or something new? Or is there something that you wanted to share today? What were you hoping to get out of this 30 minutes? Anything that you have in mind? Nothing?
Just seeing how, if there is any high risk, how you are going to mitigate that, any ideas you are giving, and what kind of risk and mitigation you are doing.
We can minimize our risk.
Okay.
Can you identify any risk that you face in practical life which I could probably preempt?
Sure. Okay. So at least 2-3 things. Maybe I may not be so exact in what you're talking about. One thing that we're going to do, all of us are doing experience sharing here. थोड़ा मैंने सीखा है, a lot of you guys have learned. We'll talk about that. Some thoughts, and like you said, learnings from some other projects. It may not be exactly what you just asked me here, but let's see if it addresses that. Can you answer this question? How do you do this? Eliminate all possible risks.
Not possible.
कर सकते हैं.
We can mitigate, not eliminate.
Eliminate all. How would you do it?
By not taking up the project.
That's the right one. Just don't do it. So once we get this thing done out, we all intend to do something. We all intend to not just manage projects. We are all trying to do something different. Some of us are trying to deliver to what a customer wants. Some of us are trying to do better than what we did yesterday. So this is done. There will be risks. We'll have to figure them out and do something about it. One of the sessions earlier, Ray, when he was taking, we talked about risks, and he talked about 3 types of scenarios there. Maybe we'll talk about it. Known and unknown. Known risks or known parameters or known things and what you do with them, and unknown. There could be things which are not known, basically. So I'm picking up 2 projects. Both of them are coming from UK geography, either paid by the government or paid by a county or something. This first project, Surrey Police Siren, it is a county level project to store criminal records, log crimes, and identify countrywide trends. A lot of the good stuff that you can think about. If you start picking out, having data about criminals, their photographs, what's happened and stuff like that. A lot of good stuff that you can do. Look at the investment number. We're talking about some 15 million GBP as an investment into the project. It's not a small project, any count. Has anybody of you heard about this project called Universal Credit? UK project, right? Let's talk about. So basically, like several other governments, UK has this platform where they give credit in the sense of housing, rental. They will reimburse rentals. They will give you food coupons and stuff like that. Part of your, because you paid taxes, so I should give you something in return, kind of a scenario. They did a national level project. They were consolidating 6 working age benefits into one. Aim was 80% of the claims to be made online, and a rollout, we're talking about 2013. We're still in 2020. This project numbers, look at the number. The project cost was £600 million. Project cost. Saving expected is $10 billion, 11 billion pounds. not dollars, net benefits of 38 billion pounds. This looks like a big ass project, yes?
Yeah.
That had zero accrued benefit, absolute nothing. They invested 15 billion pounds for it, they got nothing out of it. It was just scrapped after having run for a couple of years. This one, of the money spent, 317 million pounds spent, most of us were spent on things that made no sense. 47% could not even be capitalized, against a target of 80% being capitalized. Now it's going to get rolled out in 2024, just 11 years late. By the way, these are both agile projects. Okay, did I get any attention for this now? Nice big projects. Can we now talk about them? So what do you think could have gone wrong here? What did we do? Not us. What did the people do wrong? What could have happened there? I know this is like Bolton there, but let's start thinking.
Maybe they didn't understand the benefits expected from the project.
No, that was well documented.
Documented.
Yeah.
Still,
Benefits were very clearly known. Like we talked about, 6 benefits rolled into one, online claims, those high-level project charter points there. These ran for years, by the way. They're not like few weeks later, 300 million and we abandon off. And these are big companies working on it. Biggest brands that you can think about in the industry worked on these projects.
So they might have not taken care of the real risk or the practical problems they face when
Sure.
they will be running those projects.
So just a little bit more, the Universal Credit, they came out with small, what do you call, test sites. They ran those sites, they got them online, they started producing, working with them. So typical scenario where you do a small project or you do things in a small zone, safe zone, test it before you take it to the other piece. They did that also. And if it is a government level project, all the big guys whom you can think worked on it. So okay, we'll talk about some other things. So one big issue both projects faced were management issues. Both projects had very frequent change in the managerial stakeholder level. What I meant by that, Universal Credit, they had 6 different senior, like what we know, administrative officers looking at it over a period of 4.5 years. So absolute mishmash. What it also did, because each piece of the project ran as a small project with no link into the big project or the overall benefits. So they got derailed. They kept doing their local optimal versus looking at the big picture where it went. So this is one of the biggest failures, especially Universal Credit. They wanted to bring everything online. So what they did was they created a simple swim lane. If everything is right, that is, it's a male between 23 to 50, no disability, no rental, no this, no that, no complexity, it'll work. Any parameter which changed, it had to be done manually. This is after investment of 300 million pounds. Because in the local optimal, it was perfect. It worked well. But not in the overall picture of things. Because that never happened. So, like we said, we'll all discover it along together. So one of the big pieces that a lot of the projects see is where the big picture gets missed when we keep doing smaller local not suboptimal, but local optimas. They may be great in themselves, but not in the overall picture. This we talked about, somebody said, how do we do risk management? And I don't think I need to bore you guys, but there are some key steps that are taken. You identify risks, you quantify impact, you quantify probability, ability to detect, blah, blah, blah. you prioritize, and then you address them. Typically, in a waterfall approach, this happens only once before you start the project. While let's look at the benefits that an agile approach brings, because you're doing sprints, maybe every week, every 2 weeks, you can marry these two things together. Do this exercise more frequently. And when you start doing things like those, you're able to get better benefit out of it. So that's a very prescriptive concept, but I don't want to do those. This all we all know. So these two projects very clearly, now that one of them has been brought online, this is one thing that they've changed. One, they've created a big picture, they've broken it down to smaller pictures, created smaller projects out of it. And okay, so we'll present some data point. This, all of you are experts at, so I'm not repeating. Yeah? So this is a study, Standish Group, kiosk study that look at projects, they look at how people are doing projects, what are the concepts which make sense, what kind of methodologies are making sense. Does it make sense? Look at the numbers, data points. Gives you a great feeling, agile, 42% projects are successful, only 8% fail. This is as per their study, so not mine. But that's typically how all of us feel. Waterfall, successful number of projects, 26%, failed projects, 21%. It's a very typical numbers game. Yeah? Another one. This is where I was talking about. Typically, a larger project has a higher potential or a higher risk to fail. And especially when how they're picked up. So if you are picking up a big project in the waterfall method, 9% are being successful. Doesn't look nice. Karna hi chahiye. Right? Agile is ending up delivering 2x to that. As you go down to smaller projects, the delta is reduced. So basically then, it doesn't even make a difference कि क्या करते हैं. Good management practices or good project management practices help you tide over. So this is where we started out. The first thing that some of these two big projects have come back, break a big project to a small project. Something what Agile does very beautifully, having your, what are they called? Sprints. You're breaking a bigger deliverable into smaller pieces. Completely off the chart हो रहा है क्या? So this is where one of the big learning is all about. कहने को और बहुत कुछ है हमारे पास करने को, but this is the biggest piece that we need to take back as a learning. Have a big picture, break it into smaller pieces. We'll talk about, if you want, we can get into more detailed risk management also. Iterative risk management, we just spoke about. So while you're doing your projects, look at them on an iterative basis, in the sense of every time you're delivering a sprint, you go back, review what you've done, what is the risk profile, have you moved it, are there new risks which are coming up, have you been able to mitigate, avoid, transfer, whatever to them. But then some of us may not end up doing it because we think the business is doing it. Yeah? I'm a sales guy, मेरे लिए customer भगवान है, important है. So it doesn't even matter कि कौन क्या सोचता है. Customer को चाहिए. ठीक है? It goes back to, you need to also start thinking of that perspective that every time you're doing something, how do you do this? So like we picked up the first point where if you don't do it, there's no risk to it. But if you're doing anything, there are risks. We'll talk about from a product perspective, various stages में क्या हो सकते हैं. This, how many of us believe this? We just had a session before us which was all about communication. Not communicating, under communicating, both are the biggest kind of risks that you can have in any environment. Forget about a project. So that hum sab, we're all people risks. The minute you move it to an environment with more than one person, differences of opinion, differences of how you work, safeguarding information, so many more things will come up. Now things like data localization is there, so many things. But going back, people. This topic was covered by Ray earlier in the day also, where being agile within my technology team or being agile in just doing that project is not enough as an organization. Probably you'll run faster than the rest of the teams, but not get home. You need to make sure all your other functions are also thinking more agile. One great example Ray picked up was around finance teams and budgeting. You face that ever? होता है ना? इस प्रोजेक्ट तो ये बजटेड ही नहीं है, ये हमारे बजट में नहीं है, रिसोर्सेज नहीं है, कुछ भी. All that because they are working on a document which is created once a year and only reviewed at end of the year. So does that mean your organization moves to a thought where they do it much more frequently or do it differently? There are various things to be done, but they also need to start thinking about it. Since, are they ever agile? No. They can't think on their feet and changes it. That happens because you're used to selling something. Suddenly if you change that feature, the guy will take some time to figure out kya karna hai. Yeah? So all your other parts of the organization also need to learn from you. They need to be in sync and agile. So this is a kind of an organizational risk. So what I've done is actually removed acronyms and removed some of the other words and brought in just few bits and pieces. These are the typical steps to a new product. Let's think about it. Shire, new product, new function, new project itself or a new functionality. You typically ideate. या कहीं कोई बता देता है कहीं से आ जाता है? No. Yeah. Research, develop, come up with a minimum viable product, which is typically end of a sprint. You come up with a viable functionality. Why do I say figure it out after that? This is my terminology. But what does it mean? What do you think it means?
In Agile, it's retro. Like you have to figure it out whether this process is done right or whether the MVP is up to the mark or maybe solving the problem you're facing or you're trying to solve.
Yeah, a lot of yeah.
Valid it with the customer.
Yes. So all that is going to happen at the end. So it's not just one area. Everybody is thinking like this. Once you get to a certain stage or a milestone or point is when you're getting validation to a lot of things. That's why I'm saying figure it out. That's when we are trying to get inputs to a lot of things that we've done earlier. So some of the things that you can think about doing, get some of it up here. Things that you probably may be doing. Let's say when you do wireframing, what are you doing? You are bringing your things upstream and taking inputs from the users. What does it look like? If you click this and you got here, would this make sense? Okay? So what I'm helping you identify is while you're working on a certain set of, maybe you're working in this set of steps. Okay? Be mindful of the first two, be mindful of the last. Figure it out is also about sometimes we may develop a product, we don't even know if there's a existing market for it. You may not know which is the right customer for it, whom to sell it for, what price do we sell it for. Going back, it has to be in your product. What else can we do? What else is happening towards the end?
What we did right, what we did wrong, retrospect.
Yes. Okay. Thanks. We covered that. Anything else that we typically do end of the sprint?
Get prepared for the next one.
We do that review the storyboards also, no? Okay. Does typical storyboards cover aspects around things which could have failed, didn't fail or maybe failed? Okay. But that considered what? Success or failures? Okay. Should they be considered points not to do again so that you don't make the mistake again?
Yeah, that way, but something that is not went well, they are lessons for the next one. Not
Okay.
to be done.
Okay. What else should we put in that line? Figure it out. We have a long list of things that we can do. We can keep it more interactive, or we can just keep it one-sided. Maybe coffee.
Improvements for next phase.
Huh? Sorry.
Improvements.
Okay.
But
So-
that comes in the retrospective.
Yeah, that's one word which covers a lot of these things. What?
Could it also include maybe changes in the requirements, like we've learned something is not working and then probably we just change our idea and start doing something new?
Yes, that's also a possibility, and that's a good possibility. What else?
So here is a question.
Please.
Probably, sorry if I'm deviating, but it has been in my mind for a while.
I hope it is about something
It is
to.
risk and its project and product.
Okay.
So we in a waterfall approach historically used to always maintain a risk register, which was one way of managing and making sure that our risks are well mitigated or accepted or avoided. When we talk of iterative risk management in this case, and there was a concept of lessons learned. So there were a few concepts there,
Yeah.
which when I look at iteratively doing, how do you suggest this whole thing needs to be managed? Because each increment is one iteration, like whether it's, we call it sprint or we call it whatever, right, PI. But there's an increment that happens with every iteration. So does that risk register stays at the product level or goes at the iteration level?
Good question. Let's see, as a group, what do we feel about it? How should it work? First, do we need a risk register? Did we think about a risk register? We didn't start with one.
So we have a rate log kind of,
Yes, we have
so we have risks.
Risk,
Okay.
challenges, issues.
I mean, call it whatever you want, but you need to track those.
Yes.
So our output can be a backlog or can have got a separate register. It's up to the
Name, so I'm not wanting to get into naming convention. So essentially you have a way to figure out what can fail. Can you figure out how soon or how frequently it will happen, and can you detect it or not, and stuff like that. Basic stuff. So question that was asked is, do we keep at the product level? Do we move it to our iteration level? Where should it be sitting?
It
should be product level.
Both the levels.
Is it a living document?
It should be a living.
Should be.
If it is a living document, each one of us has access to it. While at that iteration, we may be looking at things that could have happened and not happened. Therefore, we should always be going back and updating it or keeping it live as it is. Doesn't matter if it is an iteration, you've completed the product or not. They are great products where you can look at Spotify. Spotify does this a lot. They do agile, do this. They keep managing these pieces. They're making sure they're tracking each of your pieces. Look at any mobile product. They keep talking about usage analytics. Do they? They keep asking you for crash reports. Where is it going? What are you doing? You're feeding the fire back to make sure your product is better and better every time. And these are risks, basic risks. Like Spotify I was using in the morning in the car. Some of the lists or whatever you may call this doesn't work. Our network doesn't work well. So I'm hoping in a couple of months from now, they'll probably preload. I don't know what they will do. They'll make it better. That happens. All of us would have seen. So these are small bits and pieces. They could be technology-based risks, but they are risks. So I did have a listing of some of the pieces that you can think about. It is because I need to get my coffee that I'm rushing through. Please. If you want to have more questions, queries, go ahead. But this is some of the bits and pieces that I thought about that we should always think when we are doing. Think about a project, product, whatever, demand, operational, price. You'll get the slides, sir. Siddharth, they'll be able to get the slides after the session?
Yes, we'll be sharing all the details.
ज्ञान नहीं है but slide मिलेगा.
We'll share all the text. Whatever, if the confidential things are there, so we'll share all the text.
हाँ, remove the PMI logo. ठीक है? So these are some of the bits and pieces that you can start thinking about. These are kind of risks that are there in a product. I haven't talked about them, but you have talked about them. Yeah? You've talked about things like, though we didn't talk about price, brand, and inventory, but start thinking about these things. Compliance. A lot of us don't think about compliance immediately. But these are risks. Your product may not be.
What's the difference between brand and reputation?
Great. Okay. Facebook, early days, if you remember, did they have a brand or did they have a reputation? Stupid question, but let's, the way I put it. But
Nothing. For me, I mean, when I was new to it, it had neither.
okay. Today, what? That white F on a blue background.
Brand value.
But nothing to do with reputation. So reputation typically will have the emotions attached to it, while brand stands for a certain set of quality attributes to it, or some other kind of specific attributes. What? Okay, let's look at it. When Facebook had started, it was just a product for people to share information about each other. Okay, it had a bad reputation at that point in time. It didn't have a brand recognition. So nobody understood or looked at a white F on a blue background and figured out this is Facebook. And potentially I'm not the best guy to answer, a marketing guy would have answered it better. But the difference will be there where your reputation is at risk even when you have a zero price product, Facebook. Okay, brand becomes a, okay, my time is up. The coffee should be served now. But the brand, we start talking about, let's say, pick up a perfume or something else. It's just a brand. A designer label is a brand in the sense of they can put that label onto a notebook and still sell you this stuff. There's no reputational piece about it. But a Rolls-Royce as a vehicle, they have a reputation that the vehicle will work perfectly. So your reputation will end up building your brand. I know I...
Agreed. So if the brand value is there, I'm assuming the reputation is obviously there. But there is a chance when the reputation starts dwindling, the brand value also starts
You
dwindling.
can always have a bad reputation and still be famous. AK-47s, they're known to be having a reputation of being very accurate, and they're notoriously known for being used for something. Whatever. So, examples. So, reputation and a brand in the positive connotation will build into each other,
So, yeah.
not necessarily in the negative.
Agreed.
Until unless it's a kind of product that we spoke about. But these are just thinking ideas. Think about them next time you're doing a project. I'm done. I'm happy with, I think I'm looking forward to that coffee. Don't know about you guys.
So you manage the risk of making your coffee cold.
So just to let you know, Sunita, December, the annual function, there was a popcorn award in my organization. I got Caffeine Addict award. So I got a big nice mug for coffee and a jade plant. Just so that people know how much I love my coffee. It doesn't matter the temperature.
Cold or hot.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Just